Where's the remote? Found it.
Turn off the lights.
All right.
Did you grab the drinks?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay, I'm making the popcorn.
It's starting. Come on.
All right. Okay, I'm here. Hit the button. Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Gianna.
And welcome to the We Watch It All podcast,
where we watch it all and give you our opinions.
AKA the opinions still nobody's asking for. But that's okay.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to ask for these Mandalorian...
Okay, let me just say this.
I got nothing I can say.
If your opinions are the same as mine, we are very valid in how we felt about this episode based on what I've seen online.
So, I could just skip all the way down to this one line and that says here, what do you have? Great, last 10 minutes we finally got Mando. So I could have just watched the beginning and the end and been done.
Yeah. This episode, as people...
Oh, it was right here. Could have watched the beginning and the end, sorry.
People like to say that Boba Fett is probably going to come back and, like, take his episodes back from Mando. No, this was our payback. It was even worse. Obviously, we're hoping you've watched this episode. Dr. Pershing comes back. He's from season 1.
I'm going to need you to help me because I have to fix those blinds.
What's wrong? Oh,
those
blinds are bad.
Yeah, I did that, actually. But I will not be able to concentrate. I'll be distracting, but you can talk if you'd like.
No. She fixed the blind issue. But yeah, no, this is definitely our Boba Fett revenge episode. You know, it would have been one thing if it was Boba Fett. I really like Boba Fett. So if it was like
a Boba Fett.
Because Mando came and he stole that whole episode in the book of Boba Fett where it was just all about him.
Okay.
No, but people are saying that we were going to have like Boba Fett was going to have his revenge episode and take like a whole episode to himself.
That's fine. That would be an interesting.
Oh my god. And let me just tell you, I'm going to say it right now. Watching the show, I took detailed notes on what was going on with the whole Dr. Pershing. Now, I've summed them up into 3 bullet points. I'm not getting into detail on this because I honestly don't think it's gonna...
Well, I gotta be honest, I was
struggling.
I was really writing down every little thing they did because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was bored.
I don't think I'm sure it's going to serve a purpose somewhere down the line.
Yes.
I'm sure of that because they don't usually put anything in that doesn't.
But did it need that much?
Yeah, did it really?
No.
No. But I guess they were trying to get you to... But see, even though I can't even say that they were trying to get you to think that she was good or whatever because she was obviously on...
She worked for Moff Gideon.
She was obviously on the other seasons.
Yeah,
I remember him from the scene because
they showed her in the preview.
Yeah, they showed
She's
both of them.
also the same actress who played the like galactic warrior lady in the new Ant-Man and the Wasp, the one that was like the fighting lady.
Oh yes,
that is
yes, that jawline. Yes, can't be denied.
So let's get into the episode that went fully here. This is chapter 19. What do you have? The convert or the convent?
The convert.
Okay.
I thought it was the convent too first, and then
he does mention a convent later. That's why I was like,
no, but it was the convert. Yeah.
All right, so we start with Bo-Katan instantly questioning if he saw anything. She doesn't say what it was, but she asks him.
She did see something.
She saw the mythosaur down there.
Okay.
But she doesn't say that to him exactly. She just says...
What's so big about the mythosaur?
That's the beast that they slayed. This was the lair that the first Mandalore slayed. It was at the end of last week's episode.
So then they never really killed it.
Well, one of the theories that I was talking about last week was that maybe they killed him or they were keeping him dormant by those rituals that she thought was nothing all these years, was actually keeping this mythosaur dormant. And now that there's been nobody on Mandalore for all these years... Cooper's going to have opinions because he was watching.
Very intently.
I'll give a little exclusive peek if you're on our YouTube. I'll put a little picture up of him watching.
Very intently.
I'm not going to lie, he saw the thing where they play the animations of the red and blue lights, and that's when he got up. That was the first picture I sent you. And then he sits and he watches the whole thing. I'm telling you, the Mandalorian, like, that doo-doo sound when Mando enters the screen, he loves it. He gets up and he's like, attention. I don't know, maybe he was a Mandalorian in his past life or something, but...
Helmet on that handsome face, never, Coop.
But no, that's what I was thinking. Maybe they were gonna, maybe they were keeping it dormant all these years. These rituals that she was doing this mythosaur, and now it's like rewoken since nobody's been doing them. That's my guess. Is what it maybe was. But she saw it. He didn't see it, and he takes a little vial of water, which.
At first I was like, how is that going to prove anything? But then
it did the little woo that you mentioned in the first episode that we did. But I think it's funny because this obviously foreshadows that
Yeah.
He knew that they weren't going to take Bo-Katan's word.
Oh, of course.
No,
not,
like he knew, so he was
she-
like, let me get the
yeah.
water and everything.
She's
because-
not like. To
Well, yeah,
them.
they deem her also an apostate, but
Yeah.
because she kind of was like, okay, well, yep, you bathed in the waters, I saw you, but he.
Yes, but
he
you
still
know
took
what?
the vial.
In all honesty, as much as they condemned her, they also welcomed her.
Yes, in the
Which
end,
I
they
thought
did
was
welcome
pretty,
her
you
back.
know, they said you were in there and whether you want or not, we consider you reborn. So
Yeah.
as long as you're here and you don't take your helmet off, you're welcome.
Yeah. So they then go back to Kavala, which is where her castle is.
Which
get her
I
ship.
did not understand any
Yeah,
of what was
so
going on
all
here
of a
because all of a
sudden-
sudden there was those TIE fighters and you're
fighters.
like, wait, what the hell's going on? And here's my thing. She said something about him taking to the something and then he ended up in a ship. Where did that ship come from?
That's his ship.
And where was his ship?
It was parked. Grogu took it to her, remember?
Yeah.
And it was left there. They came in her
so she
ship.
dropped him off.
She dropped
to-
him out of the sky.
Oh, and he
fell out
got
of
to
the
a
sky.
ship.
Got to a
Oh, okay.
ship,
That's
yeah,
why I
yeah.
was like, excuse me, young fellow. Excuse me. Just, that's a good boy. Papa, first of all, you can't afford to have all that hair in your mouth.
Right before the TIE fighters attack, they are talking about, oh, let's have this feast. Like, she was like, oh, I invite you to come sit down and we can feast and all this in celebration. She's like, I know you won't take the helmet off. I noticed right in that moment, she usually, in last episode, had her helmet off in her ship. And she hasn't taken the helmet off yet.
Yeah.
Which I think is very weird. That I think, originally, I was theorizing that maybe his people wouldn't take him back. But I didn't know, like, he could take this vial of water and it would, like, you know, it would light up or something like that. I should have figured. But now what I'm thinking is that it's going to be more of, like, a struggle of Bo-Katan being like, are they right? Should I be leaving this helmet on now that I saw the mythosaur is real?
It could be.
Like, I think it's going to be something like that
No,
because...
no.
Oh,
he's-
God, they're fighting.
No, you were being nice, baby.
These cats are so distracting. I literally noticed as soon as she was on the ship, I just felt like it was weird that she still had this helmet on for some reason. And I definitely think it's from her being like... Not that she didn't... Like, I feel like she would have taken the helmet off. And the fact that she didn't, I think she's going to be very conflicted about...
Well, now he asked her not to as well. He said, please, if you
Well,
wouldn't
yeah, when
mind.
she got there, don't take it off.
Which I feel like at this point, like, it's the same as if you go to someone's house and they're like, can you please take your shoes off? Because it's just
No,
part
yeah.
of, like in Asian cultures, it is, like, part of their culture to take your shoes off or something, I think, because it disrespects the house or something. I don't know, something like that. Like, it would be the same thing as, like, just respect their
it's like
culture
a culture
type thing.
yeah.
Which I
But-
think she seemed like she would do.
No, I know, but I don't know why that was something instantly I picked up on that. Why is she in her ship with her helmet
But
on?
why were they blowing up the castle? What do you think's going on there?
So, I mean, that was obviously definitely a parallel, and I think for her to see her castle being blown up just like, coming off the grounds of Mandalore, that was blown up by the same exact people. I don't really,
The
maybe
only thing
they
I
knew.
thought was maybe they thought he was there or something and they were looking for him.
I mean, I guess if you go past, you would assume his ship's there. They might know, I mean, I don't know if they know that's his ship, but that is definitely interesting to think, like, what exactly is going on, because they did say Moff Gideon's technically in custody. So at this point, I'm going to assume it's probably something related to Grogu, I'm going to assume, because like they said, they want him for cloning and things like that. And I feel like the fact that then they go to the doctor from season 1 who was all about the cloning is kind of like...
That was the only thing that I could see why they
Yeah.
tied that in. I get it, but it was just like... It still didn't make any sense because you see this doctor purging in an auditorium giving a speech.
Yeah.
And, like, you're like, okay, wait a minute. Like...
Well, I think they did that to make him look like he was higher up. He was something important. And then we see he's
not.
actually in this, like, amnesty housing, which is, like, a rehabilitation for Imperial workers who are now trying to find their place in the new empire and things like that. But, I mean, I felt like I think this was, like, him and his whole, like, little thing of, like... Because it was also a lot of repeating. Because it was, like, a lot of him being, like... Oh, I don't know. I don't think I should go back and try to figure out my research, because that's who he meets up with is G68. I can't remember.
Yeah, they give everybody numbers.
Numbers, yeah.
He was like L something or something.
Yeah, which I think it was for, like, obviously each letter went with what you are.
Oh,
Like, I guess what,
laboratory
like,
maybe, or
laboratory
guard.
guard.
Okay. Maybe.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. But, well, when he meets up with the G68, he recognizes her from working with Moff Gideon, and she kind of basically is trying to get him to pick back up this whole cloning thing. That is all the scenes. It's her being like, you should go back to school. He's like, I don't know. And then he's like,
But
and then
the
he
way
has
she
this,
did it was like very slick because you couldn't tell like, okay, was he the bad guy or was she the bad guy? Like it was kind of tricky where you were like, okay, who, you knew one of them was gonna still be bad. Like there was no way both of them were gonna be reformed and be good. So I'm like, okay, one of them is gonna be bad. I did assume it was gonna be her.
I did
for some
assume
reason.
it was gonna be her, definitely,
because he doesn't really.
Well, I think
he was a true scientist, like where he was trying to do something.
Well, also I think that speech in the beginning, the reason they showed that also to give you like a trick of like, look how I'm important. Then it's like, no, he's really not.
Yeah.
Was also because he said he was doing this for his mother, which kind of gave it like the his why he's doing this, not just because he's just doing it. Like,
you could see where he just got mixed up with the wrong crowd, but she definitely was
like
part
he was
of
just
the wrong
working
crowd.
with anybody who was going to help him forward. This.
And and the way he talked, he made it sound like they were not initially saying it was going to be used for something bad. Like it didn't seem like that at first. So obviously,
his more kind of seemed like it was coming from like helping repair the body or cure things, and not so much of like, I guess like almost like he referenced, how they cloned from Jango Fett and made all the clone troopers.
And
like,
I think she was trying to test him to see like how far she could get him to go to do this stuff, because she asked him. See, the stuff that didn't make sense was I thought she wanted him to actually pick up his research and keep going with it. But then at the end with what happened, it was like, wait, no, does she not want him to know how to do it? Or, because if you're going to do what they did with the mind stuff, that doesn't make sense.
They were supposed to like, I guess, numb his mind. And
but that's not what she did.
She kind of gave him the Bix treatment from Andor instead, it seemed like.
That's what it seemed like.
Like, I wonder if what we saw here was like the more redefined and cleaned up version of what they did to Bix and Andor.
Could be, because they said you'll see pretty colors, pretty lights, and it'll be actually refreshing. And the other thing was like you'll see children screaming and hear screams and blah 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 or whatever. But
I did feel like his life very much paralleled our favorite boy from Andor, Karn. I feel like it was kind of the same thing, like. These people that they're working for are not helping them. They're working basic desk jobs, and they want to do more. Oh yeah,
I know.
I was like, I could see this as.
I thought of that. Oh my god, another smack. I thought of that too. That I saw that sitting at the desk. Only he didn't seem to mind doing his like mundane work or whatever for now, because I think he was just happy to be able to have a place. And then like she takes him out and is like showing him around and all, and talking about the different places and stuff like that. And I think when she told him to touch that rock. I think she was testing to see, like, would he break that simple little rule? Yeah. Like, and the fact that he was willing to touch it, like, I think she said, I might be able to get him to do what I want him to do. But it just didn't make sense to me because I don't know, she, like, took the stuff but then, like, wiped his I don't know.
The only thing I could think is that she is, like, since she is maybe, like, a guard, she still has a connection to Moff Gideon, or she can get to Moff Gideon. And he's like trying to get the research.
But wouldn't you think they would need him to do the research?
I mean, maybe not. Maybe he had such a base like going on that they could just finish it off a little bit or pick it up. Yeah, that's my only thing. I don't know how much he's completed.
But see, the thing is, like, what he picked up was not his research. It was research materials that I assumed. Like, that wasn't his, like, at first I thought that maybe that was the ship where he was working on. Yeah. But then I'm like, he was just collecting things to, like, build a mobile lab or something. Yeah. So that's what was cracking me up, because I'm like, I mean, maybe, yes, he picked up the stuff you would need to build this lab to do this, but, like, that's what I was thinking. Like, well, maybe she was going to, like, then, use him to build the thing and then get rid of them. But, like, the fact that she did that was, like, I don't know,
I definitely don't think the whole montage needed to be as long.
I don't think it
like,
did
I
either.
get they were trying to, like, he wanted these travel biscuits. That was his favorite thing from the Empire, so she gave him the travel biscuits to, like, try to, like, earn his trust. Yeah. But I don't know. Did we need all that? No. Not really. It is kind of disappointing when you see that the episode's almost, like, 60 minutes long, and then you're, like, first 10 minutes, and you're like, oh, damn, there's only, like, 5 minutes left.
But
and
what
you're
cracked me up was, like, they really cut harshly. They went from, like, showing Boba Fett to, like, that's it.
Not Boba Fett.
Not Boba Fett. I mean, Mandalorian to showing nothing. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, they show them frying his brain, and they're like, boop, here they are back on a, like, landing on a planet. Like, landing on the,
Yeah, that was, like, they did. They kind of, like, it was like they almost, like, accidentally, like, interjected the wrong scene there.
Yeah, it was like somebody just dropped that scene in between the two things, and it didn't make sense. Because, first of all, their scenes were both very bright and daytime-ish, and, like, his was always, like,
dark.
And
Thank God.
And
I don't know. I thought it gets brighter out earlier, and it was luckily dark out here.
No, but the thing that also got me a little confused was it almost seemed like multiple days had passed with him.
Yeah, with them, it definitely felt like it was days.
It showed him at the desk, and it showed him come back to the desk another day.
Yeah,
and
I don't feel like...
So that's what really baffled me.
I don't think it should have been that long from the jump of hyperspace with them to, like, getting to, like, where Mando's people are.
Yeah,
I don't think it should have been that long.
I don't know. It was weird.
It probably wasn't.
That's what I think threw me off, because I wasn't thinking about that. I knew they hyperspaced
Maybe it was more of like
else.
a catch-up
I don't know.
to, like, what this guy's been doing, so it links... I don't really... Yeah, it is a little confusing. But they do pick up back with Mando and Bo-Katan, and they go to the convert, I think he said, because I looked at that. He said this is a convert. He asks her to wear the helmet, like we mentioned, and he ends up telling them that he's been to the living waters. Bo-Katan tries to back him, and they say, you're also an apostate. You've removed your helmet. You're from a fallen clan, so we need physical proof. So he gives him the water. The armorer tests it, and she says he's telling the truth. He did go to the waters, and he's redeemed. And so is Bo-Katan, since she has not taken her helmet off since she has left the water. And she says that she could stay here and join them for as long as she likes. Which I think will be interesting now to see, like, what it's gonna...
Yeah, because she really doesn't have a clan or anything right now, right?
Yeah, well, no, because all her people kind of left her because of her not having the dark saber. So it will be interesting to see, because I think we're gonna see her definitely struggle with, like, do I think that you can live the ways of a Mandalorian and take the helmet off, or do you have to believe everything?
Did you know that her helmet was a picture of an owl?
I knew she was for the night owls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know that's her, like,
and
her
like
people,
when
the night owls.
that guy said that something about night owl, I looked at the helmet. I go, all of a sudden,
it does kind of look like an owl. Yeah,
I'm like, it's an owl. Because I was trying to figure out what her design was, and I'm like, nope, that's an owl. Straight up an owl on her helmet.
Yeah.
All that.
Keep it simple. I mean, she is from Rebels, which was supposed to be like the Cartoon Network kid show, so.
Still, bottom line is, could have watched the first 10 and last 10, and I would have been good. And considering that, like, I was trying to watch it while I was at work.
Yeah.
It was a shame.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. It was kind of like, Like, let me tell you, next week, episode 4, they will play the previously on, and they will sum up that whole Dr. Pershing thing in like 2 seconds, minutes. And you'll completely know what happened last week.
Yep.
And you'll be good. So you could just wait for that, which is like, that's always so disappointing. So
right through the shirt. I'm sorry.
So that's all we have for this one. Even though it was an hour-long episode, we don't have much to talk about, because literally, like I said, the Dr. Pershing was like a repetitive kind of thing. And the actual main character had little to no screen time.
Yeah.
Oh, so disappointing. And
it really is.
And you know what? I'm grateful that when I went on Twitter, and honestly anywhere, people were also agreeing with, like, oh, 60-minute episode. It doesn't even have the Mandalorian in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad.
So hopefully next week we will not have to deal with that. And we will have a full Mando episode. I'm sure he'll be in it a little bit, though, the Pershing guy. Like, I'm sure it's gonna, link to that. Like, I'm sure we're gonna see that. Or they could do what they did with Andor. Remember, they just show characters and they disappear for like a week or two, and then they come back.
That's interesting.
I don't think there is that many episodes with this. I think there may be like 8 or 9. So they can't really do that. I mean, Andor was, a whole lot. But for now, we will leave you with that. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Maybe leave it in a good rating. Or if you're on YouTube, you can give us a thumbs up. Don't give us a thumbs down. Instead, leave a comment telling us how we can improve. And check out our other podcast. We talk about it all. Where we, in fact, talk about it all.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I probably should have mentioned this in the beginning. We are no longer doing Monday episodes for right now.
Yeah, no.
While there's active currently airing shows, we will not do Monday episodes. When there are none, we will bring back the Monday episodes, but for now, we are uploading every Friday and Saturday. We have Mandalorian, and then we have The Real Housewives of New Jersey, and soon The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip will be back, so we'll have that. And make sure you go check out our New Jersey episode if you're a fan of the OC. Got a little news right there to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's stuff going on, folks.
We'll discuss. But yeah, thank you so much for listening or watching. We'll be back next week. Say it.
Hit the button.